Welcome to They Were Both Found Dead. This is Adrian.
And I'm Ramsey, and today we are talking about deadly drops.
This is my choice. I thought it would be interesting. I've seen a lot of like malfunctions. What is it? Skydiving stuff?
Oh my gosh.
And I thought that would be interesting. Yeah.
Would you ever skydive?
I don't know. I feel like no right now, but I feel like if I go with a lot of people that I know that are also doing it, I'd probably do it.
I feel the same way. Like, I want to. It's kind of like how I feel about Coke. I want to do it.
Oh.
I want to do it real bad. But fentanyl, it's not like if excluding all the racism and all that stuff, and like being a woman in the 80s, I should have been born in the 80s before we knew how bad and scary stuff was. Because I want to do it, but now I know and I'm scared.
You just want to do it when you don't know anything.
Yeah, and then I could just go blind do it. Because there wasn't also things were safer, like not everything, but some things like fentanyl wasn't in all the Coke.
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't wake up today publicly declaring I yearned for the Coke, but I'm not doing it. I'm not going to. It just would be nice to have the option.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Maybe when you're old and like you're 80 or something, then you can do like all the drugs you want.
If I hit 90, I'm trying everything. I want to know. Why am I still here? Might as well find out.
You're going to be in one of these podcasts, and you're going to be part of the unusual deaths. This 90-year-old did, like, every drug known to man and died. I'm
going to still be doing this podcast, and I'm going to do them all on camera. So stick around for the long haul. I'm 27 now. That's 63 years from now. We're going to have Ramsey's heroin, Coke, I don't know, what else is there? LSD, PCP, crack.
This genuinely feels like how they promote those movies. They release a trailer, and then they're like, okay, it's going to come out in 2 years. Like, what the fuck? Why are you telling me right now?
Cody has so many of his bands that they're like, hey, album announcement's coming out May of next year, and it's like summer. It's like, okay.
Oh my god.
I'm going to not care by then.
I hate when they do that. It's so bad. And then I'll have to wait. It erases from my mind immediately when they say something like that. I'm like, oh, why would I even care to think about this right now?
I completely agree, especially when they release like the title and like the cover art. And it's like, okay, so you have this whole concept down to those things nailed down, but you're gonna take that long to finish the music? That seems like a skill issue.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. By the way, did you see the Michael movie?
No.
Why'd you laugh at it?
Because when we were at a local hang the other night, and one of my dad's old friends asked him, he's like, come, he was like super drunk, the friend, because he just happened to be at the bar, and he was like, come, let's go see the movie, this is gonna be so good, he's incredible. And my dad literally just went, he's a petter.
Truth, you're right. It's interesting to see his life though, but obviously he's a pedophile. So can't really do anything about that.
I'm assuming you saw the movie. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was alright. It felt a little like, I don't really know how to explain it, but like sort of polished-y.
Yes. And
I did not like that, so.
What event did it end up on, or did it end on?
Yeah, it was like when he showed his dad. Well, kind of spoiler alert. I mean, this is history, but like whatever. Like this already happened. But
yeah,
it was like in his last concert for his victory tour, where he did it with his brothers.
I saw this joke the other day, and it was the Michael Jackson movie ends when Michael Jackson does his victory tour. That's like making a movie about O.J. Simpson and ending it after he wins the Heisman Trophy.
Exactly. And I'm like, we never got into like the meat and potatoes of the situation.
A lot of stuff happened.
I think there's gonna be a second movie. Like the first one's called Michael and the second one's Jackson. So
that is the corniest shit I've ever heard.
You know what I said today to Hunter? I was like, anybody that listens to Michael Jackson in 2026 is corny as hell. Or like it's like performative, honestly. Unless like a few that are okay. But, like, if you're listening to, like, Billie Jean, I'm like, what?
That's one of the few I do actually listen to regularly.
Okay, Billie Jean was about it. Something like, I don't know, like, that's the only one I can think of.
I'm already scared about what I've said, but I'll stand by it because, protect the kids. I'm scared for you. People are going to come for you for that comment.
I'm so sorry.
We were disconnected due to me touching my headphone. I kept in the following because it made me cackle.
People already hate me online, so I'm okay.
Who
With my
hates you
movie
online?
choices. Is it gonna happen this time too, Ramsey? You're gonna disconnect? Awesome.
I'm so annoyed. I'm so excited to see the footage of him cussing me out while this happens. Did you know that they're releasing a second Michael Jackson movie and calling it Jackson? Anyways, do you think we're ready for a bite-sized terror?
Yes, go ahead. I want to hear it.
Everyone has heard about the tragedy of the Nutty Putty Cave incident, where a young man became trapped upside down in a narrow cave passage and slowly died, while rescuers desperately tried to free him. As you can tell by Adrian's face, he does not like to think about that.
I hate that story.
It's very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Yuri Lipski?
No? Is it another one of these claustrophobic?
Yes.
Oh my god. Trigger warning.
His death is one of the most terrifying diving incidents ever captured on camera. You essentially watch a man realize in real time that he is not getting back to the surface. Lipski was a 22-year-old diving instructor visiting the famous Blue Hole near the town of Dahab. I don't like the name Blue Hole. Reminds me of Blue Waffle.
It's a beautiful name. Leave it alone.
The Blue Hole is infamous in the diving world. From above, it looks beautiful, a deep circular sinkhole in the Red Sea surrounded by bright coral reefs and crystal clear water. But underneath is something called the Arch, a tunnel-like underwater passage around 180 feet deep that connects the hole to the open sea. Divers from around the world are drawn there because it is both breathtaking and extremely dangerous. Nitrogen narcosis, oxygen toxicity, disorientation, and panic set in fast at those depths, especially for divers pushing beyond safe recreational limits. The site has reportedly claimed dozens, possibly hundreds of lives over the years, earning it a grim reputation as one of the deadliest dive locations on Earth. Would you go there?
Yes, I would go there every summer.
Would you dive?
Yes, of course. What else would you do there? I know a guy died in there.
On April 28, 2000, Yuri decided to film his dive using a helmet-mounted camera. This camera ended up recording the entire horrifying journey. Early on in the footage, Yuri appears calm, descending deeper and deeper into dark blue water. Then the effects of death begin taking over. He becomes disoriented, his breathing speeds up. Instead of locating the exit route, he drifts downward into open water, far below safe depth limits. The footage then captures the moment panic fully sets in. He grabs at his regulator, thrashing, and begins breathing harder and harder as precious air disappears. At one point, he desperately inflates his buoyancy device, trying to rise, but by then he is already too deep and too impaired to control himself properly. Does it sound like a horrible, horrifying situation to be in?
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, why hasn't there been like a horror movie about this? I feel like it would be like the worst thing ever.
With the water combined, I feel like maybe it would be expensive to film and hard.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about like specifically this, but like cave diving in general. I'm talking about like really claustrophobic ones, not like have you seen the movie The Descent?
No, but you've told me to watch it before.
It's alright, but so I'm talking about like real just claustrophobic real life stuff. And that one there's like monsters inside the caves and stuff, and that's something different.
Yeah, make it movie worthy, else you're just in a cave for a few hours.
Yeah, but that's creepy. Like, jeez, I don't like that.
Was there a movie like 128 Hours where that happened?
Yeah, but he was trapped in like in a canyon with a rock on his hand.
Oof, that's intense.
Yeah, he had to chop his hand off to get out of there. I mean, did you not know about that?
I've never seen it, but I think I've heard. I forgot those details.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You do what you gotta do.
Well, in this specific case, experts later believed Yuri suffered severe nitrogen narcosis, sometimes called rapture of the deep, where extreme death causes a drunk, confused, almost dreamlike mental state. Combined with panic and rapid air consumption, it became fatal within minutes. The final moments are difficult to watch. His flashlight cuts through darkness while his breathing turns frantic and ragged. Then the camera tumbles. The screen fills with sand and black water. Then silence. He died alone at the bottom of the blue hole, likely from running out of breathable air while too deep and disoriented to ascend safely. His body was later recovered by other technical divers who entered the same deadly waters to bring him back to the surface for his mother. There is no monster, no attack. Our villains here were darkness, pressure, and the horrifying realization that the surface was impossibly far away. Even deepwater diving accidents tap into a very primal fear: suffocation in a place humans were never meant to survive. And unlike many tragedies, Yuri's final moments were recorded directly from his own perspective, making viewers feel as if they are trapped down there with him, breathing faster with each and every passing second.
God.
Do you feel trapped?
That's horrifying. Yes.
No, it really is. And that's really sad that he had to go out that way. Like, I can't. There are very few ways that I would imagine would be worse to die than that.
Yeah, I mean, he did have, like, his dreamlike state moments, which I'm sure he was, like, just in a daze instead of, like, actually panicking too hard. Horrifying. Bad stuff. I can't believe they went to get him and everything, too.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad that there's people that are willing to do stuff like that. Because not me. I'm not doing nothing like that.
Yeah, it was there were some quotes from the guy who went to do it, and he really did do this not for any reason but to give that man's mother a chance to see her child for a final time. And that's really sad.
Super sad. And Mother's Day just happened. So sad.
That's true, it did.
But yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll just live with that for the rest of my life. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Well, we went from one gruesome note, and I think you're about to take us to another.
Yes, and now I'm gonna traumatize you guys a little bit more. We're doing falls. The what is it?
Deadly drops.
Deadly drops. Keep that in mind. So I'm gonna talk about the death of Kirk Raymond Jones. In October of 2003, a man named Kirk Jones became one of the very few recorded people to go over the edge of Niagara Falls and survive. But to understand what happened that day, you first have to understand the falls themselves. Have you been to the Niagara Falls?
I have not.
Would you want to go?
Yeah. Jim and Pam got married there.
Really? That's such something you would know.
It's in the show. It's 2 episodes, Niagara Falls Part 1 and Part 2. Andy gets his keys in his ball sack, and he has to go to the hospital.
What season is that? Niagara Falls is not a single waterfall, but a system of 3. Horseshoe Falls on the Canadian side, and the American Falls and Bridal Veil Falls on the U.S. side. So it's kind of split into 2 countries. The most powerful of these is the Horseshoe Falls, which carries the majority of the river's flow and creates the massive curved wall of water most people recognize when they go to the place.
Okay.
The Niagara River is the only outlet of 4 of the 5 Great Lakes. That means an enormous volume of fresh water is constantly funneled through a relatively narrow channel before dropping over the edge. As it approaches the brink, the river accelerates rapidly, narrowing into a fast-moving current that is difficult to resist, even far upstream from the drop.
And you have to think about how heavy water is, too. Like, that is an insane amount of force.
I know. And, like, the closer you get to the edge, the faster and faster the water moves. So you're kind of, like, screwed if you're, like, too close.
Have you ever seen that dam where it's so big when they filled it, after they finished building it and they filled it with water, it slowed the Earth's rotation by, like, a fraction of a second?
This is the Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze River. It is the largest power station on the planet. A monster of concrete and steel so colossal that when it fills up, the mass of the water actually slows down the rotation of the Earth.
That's not true.
It's true. That's going to have some consequences someday. I don't know what they are.
That sounds so sci-fi. That's crazy. I can't believe. At the crest of Horseshoe Falls, the water does not simply fall cleanly downwards. It surges over a curved ledge, forming a thick, high-pressure curtain that crashes into a turbulent pool below. The impact zone, known as the plunge pool, is filled with recircling currents, submerging rock debris and hydraulic forces strong enough to trap objects underwater for extended periods of time.
It's like a saw trap.
Yeah. So all that water moving and falling and everything just creates random currents down in the water, so you just can't resurface if you're down there. The mist that rises from the base is not just spray. It is the result of millions of gallons of water violently colliding with itself, breaking apart and rebounding upwards. Visibility in this area can drop to near zero, and sound levels are constant and overwhelming.
I didn't even think about sound. That would be like so loud.
Thunder. I feel like it's like thunder sounds. On the day Kirk Jones entered the water upstream, the river was already moving with significant force. Once a person is in the Niagara current above the falls, there are very few natural exits. The shoreline becomes steep and rocky, and the water speed increases the closer it gets to the drop. As he was carried downstream, there would have been almost no stable reference points, just accelerating water, noise, and mist forming ahead, where the river disappears over the edge. And he just...
So did he just like fall in?
No. No, it was purpose. He jumped in with just his clothes. He didn't have like.
Did he know he was gonna die?
Huh?
Did he know he was gonna die?
So that's the thing. He's like, for legal reasons, he wanted to put it like as he was trying to kill himself, suicide. But then there was like notebooks and stuff like that resurfaced that he actually wanted to do it as a stunt and to become famous. So I don't know right there, but like he should have died. I don't know. When someone reaches the crest of Horseshoes Falls, the transition from river to free fall happens quickly. The water does not give a gradual warning. It folds over itself and drops roughly 165 feet, about 50 meters, into the pool below. Survival in that environment depends largely on chance factors, where a person enters the falling water, how they are oriented, and whether they avoid the most violent impact zones at the base. Even then, the plunge pools remain one of the most dangerous hydraulic environments in North America. Jones was later recovered downstream. He fell and he resurfaced and lunged to a rock in the middle of the river, and he just stayed there, and he survived with minimal injuries. He had like few broken ribs. Jones was later recovered downstream, having survived injuries consistent with a high impact fall and prolonged exposure to turbulent water. His survival is considered extremely rare given the conditions presented at the falls. Imagine saying that you fell the Niagara Falls and you survived, like with nothing.
This is incredible. I'm like actually so shook right now.
I know. There's never been an adult recorded that had survived something like that.
I'm pretty sure he literally said at the beginning that he survived, and I was just like, my brain just dismissed that statement. Like, oh, this guy's gonna die at the end.
Yeah.
And so I'm genuinely shocked he survived.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I would have not thought.
Witnesses say a man has survived a plunge over the falls wearing only the clothes on his back. They say the man went headfirst over the 180-foot Horseshoe Falls Monday, then pulled himself out of the water onto the rocks below. No one has ever survived a trip over the narrower and rockier American Fall.
The Michigan man who survived a plunge over Niagara Falls has been released on bail and ordered to leave Canada. Canadian authorities have charged him with illegally performing a stunt. But Jones and his family say that it wasn't an act. He was depressed and suicidal after losing his job. Police are now looking at a videotape made by a friend of Jones that shows him plunging over the falls.
After his 2003 survival at Niagara Falls, Kirk Jones became widely known as one of the very few people that have gone over the Horseshoe Falls and lived. The event remained part of Niagara's modern history, largely because survival in those conditions is so statistically rare.
Yeah.
But, listen to me. More than a decade later, in October 2017, Jones returned to the same region. This time, the situation involved a different method. Reports indicate he entered the Niagara Falls again, allegedly using a large inflatable ball designed to float on water.
Not a hamster ball.
Yes, those that you put in the water and they're like transparent. Do you know those?
Yeah.
Cheers, Maddie. Just like the movie, we're getting started here with the rock cup.
You don't want to like rush and do it again. It wasn't amazing. It was like, wow, I need to do it 10 times.
Oh, Jesus, what happened there?
Oh, fuck. Is he alright?
And allegedly, people say that he had like a snake in there as well for some reason.
What did the poor snake do to him?
I don't know, but he did that.
I have a snake. I love my snake. I would never do this to him.
Yeah, it's sad.
Okay, people, I am jumping in here because Adrian mentioned snake, and I'm a snake lover. I have my own little snake. His name is Daytona. I love him. Snakes are awesome. A lot of breeds of snakes are like little lizard cats. They're really good. I want to know what happened to this snake. This is an article by CBS News. After Kirk Jones' death, New York State Park Police found a website with a photo of him and the 7-foot snake named Misty, previewing his plans and selling t-shirts and photos, the Niagara Gazette reported Wednesday. Believe in the impossible, Kirk Jones plus Misty conquer Niagara Falls, New York in 2017, read the site, which has since been taken down. The snake hasn't been found, though an empty snake cage was found in Jones's parked van. Exotic pet experts told police it wouldn't have survived the cold water. Footage from a crash drone belonging to Jones, found by a parks employee April 20th, shows only rushing water. And that tells more information that Adrian talked about in the episode. Not only did he pretty much definitely take a snake, but it was his pet snake. And he was so selfish that not only did he fucking do this, like, okay, maybe this, I sound like an asshole, but he not only did this to everyone that loved him, but the snake, like, he did this to a pet. What did the snake have to do with anything? Even if he did live, he would have crushed it. Why did he have to bring the snake? Justice for Misty. R.I.P. Harambe. Justice for Misty. I'm actually pissed off.
Sometime after he entered the water, he went over the falls again. Search efforts were launched after concern was raised when he did not resurface. Unlike the 2003 incident, there was no recovery of a survivor. Authorities later recovered human remains near the base of the falls, and the incident was treated as fatal. Because of the environment, recovery and confirmation in cases like this are often difficult. The plunge pool beneath Horseshoe Falls is deep, fast-moving, and filled with recircling currents that can carry debris long distances before anything surfaces again. So it's really hard to recover anything at that point because everything is just so sparse. And it can pop up anywhere. The second incident closes the story in a very different way than the first. In 2003, Jones survived an event that most people do not survive at all, and in 2017, he entered the same natural system again, and this time did not return.
If he had any kind of family, I'm so pissed for them.
I think he did.
Imagine someone you love dying this way. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah. How can you even do that? I think he just was really confident. Since he survived the first time with like no protection, he thought like this like air ball was gonna help him.
I mean, it's sad he died. That would have been sick as hell if he didn't. But also like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then what about all those responders that got traumatized finding his remains? You didn't think about them when he did it.
Nope, I don't think he was thinking about anybody else but himself.
Yeah. It was 2017, he was trying to get them clicks, dude.
What people would do to be famous, honestly. Unless it was like an actual suicide thing the second time. But I feel like it's not.
I would kill you to be famous.
For me to be famous or you to be famous?
I would kill you for us both to be famous.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you.
Guys, if we get to 3,000 subscribers, I'll kill Adrian.
Okay. I'm getting scared, bitch. Relax.
Yours was, when he survived, one of the reasons I was so, okay. I'm not glad he died, but I am glad in this tale that your person ended up passing, because when we're telling this, like, great story where he lived and everything, I was like, mine's not like that. Mine's actually such a bummer. I cried when I was editing it today.
Oh my god, really? I told you this was a good topic. I told you.
It's a great topic. I didn't argue. I said it was a good topic. So for the last topic today, I am covering the Cavalese Cable Car Disaster. Have you heard of this?
That sounds horrifying, and no.
It is mortifying. It is horrifying. So, on February 3rd, 1998, the year I was born, a Grumman EA-6B Prowler lifted off from Aviano Air Base in northern Italy for what was supposed to be a routine, low-altitude training mission. The jet belonged to the United States Marine Corps and carried 4 crew members, including pilot Richard J. Ashby. Have you seen Ashby on TikTok?
No. Who?
Has a real quick last moment of levity. Here's a quick Ashby clip.
Genuinely not laughed in 3 days since I lost my brother. I love you, Ashby. Thank you. Find him! What the hell? Go find him, girl. What you doing on here? He's probably out there looking for you. Hope that one made you laugh. I know he passed away. I'm so sorry.
I don't get to see it.
Flights like this happen often around the Alps, where mountain terrain allowed pilots to practice navigating at high speed through tight valleys. But low altitude flying came with strict rules for a reason. You would know. You're a pilot. At those speeds, there is almost no time to react if something goes wrong. As the aircraft tore through the icy valleys near Cavalese, witnesses on the ground described the jet screaming overhead so low it shook buildings and rattled windows. Snow-covered mountains flashed past the cockpit in seconds. The aircraft was reportedly flying far below the permitted altitude while moving at enormous speed, hugging the terrain as it descended deeper into the valley. Ahead of the jet stretched the cables of the Cavalese Cable Car System, suspended high above the frozen landscape, carrying skiers and tourists up the mountain. Then, in an instant, the aircraft slammed into the steel support cables. The line snapped violently apart under the force of the impact. Pieces of metal whipped through the air as the jet continued forward, damaged but still flying. Behind it, nearly 300 feet above the ground, the cable car it had just severed was suddenly left hanging in open air.
Wait a second. Did the plane
Yes.
hit this?
The plane hit the cables. So this was like
Wow.
a mountain, and there's cables taking this is the only comparison I can think of, and I hate to use it because of the levity of the situation, but have you seen Hoodwinked?
Yes.
And the bunny, and she's on the cable car with the bunny?
Yeah.
That's the kind of cable car we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Like the one with the skiers, the one they sit down on?
No.
Oh,
Like-
shit.
It's the same idea, but it's like a whole car.
Okay. I get what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it's like if you combine that with a bus.
I went on one of those in February when I went into New York.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's one there.
Was it fun?
Yeah. It was like just a transport thing, like just to go over the river, but it was
Yeah.
I was just doing it for being a tourist, so it was fun.
Tourist shit, that's what you're there to do. You're a tourist.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad nothing like this happened.
That's so creepy. Ugh.
So we haven't even gotten to the actual drop yet. We just have what caused it. So this plane has hit these cables. They're just in the air.
Okay.
That cable car left the ski resort while it was packed with tourists and locals to make the short trip down Mount Cermise in northern Italy. Inside the gondola were 20 people from several different countries, including German tourists, Polish students, Belgian travelers, and Italian workers heading back down the mountain after an afternoon in the snow. Among them were 3-year-old Mattia Mantil, newlyweds, college students, an entire family sitting shoulder to shoulder against the glass windows, watching the Alps pass beneath them. The ride was supposed to last only minutes. People talked, rested, laughed, completely unaware that a U.S. Marine jet was screaming towards them at over 500 miles per hour, flying far below legal altitude. Witnesses later described the moment of impact as almost impossible to process. One second the gondola was gliding peacefully above the snow-covered trees, and the next there was a violent crack so loud it echoed through the valley. The aircraft sliced through the support cables with enough force to instantly sever the car from the mountain. There was no warning inside the cabin. No time to brace, no time to understand. The gondola dropped nearly 300 feet after the cable snapped, swinging briefly before plunging downward. There were no survivors. Investigators later said many passengers were likely thrown violently against the walls and ceiling during the initial cable strike before the car slammed into the mountainside below. The metal cabin exploded apart on impact, scattering debris, luggage, and bodies across the snow.
Ooh.
Because of the intensity of the second impact, the one against the mountainside, the remains of both the people and the cable car were so destroyed that it was impossible to know who died upon first impact and who lived the terrifying seconds that led to the car exploding against the mountainside.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, you went crazy with this one.
I can't. It's such a real moment. You're literally just on vacation. You're just surrounded by strangers. You're just doing something that people have done so many times.
Yeah.
And then it ends that badly for you. For you 20 people out of the hundreds people here today alone.
I know, and they thought it was not going to happen to them. So imagine all the people that go up there and think it's not going to happen to them. It's going to happen to you. So be scared.
People always think it's never
leave the
going to happen,
house.
but it happens to someone.
Yes.
It could be you.
Exactly. So don't do things. Just stay home.
Stay home. Get agoraphobia. It's the only solution.
Being home could be scary too. Might as well just die now. How about that?
That's true. Let's all do a pact.
Oh, God.
How's March sound? Or next March. This horror was magnified by how ordinary the moment had been seconds earlier. Ski poles, gloves, children's toys, and broken cameras were found buried in the wreckage. Rescuers arriving at the scene described an almost unrecognizable debris field spread across the forest beneath the cables. Among the dead were young children like Mattia Mentel and travelers such as Veronica Constantini and Michelle Gardner, whose families had expected them home later that evening. The sheer suddenness of it became one of the most disturbing aspects of the disaster. None of the passengers had any understanding of what was happening until the very final seconds, turning a quiet scenic gondola ride into one of the deadliest and most horrifying cable car tragedies in modern history. The aftermath left the mountain town of Cavalese in shock. Rescue crews who reached the crash site quickly realized there was nothing to save. The gondola had been completely destroyed on impact, torn apart across the forest floor beneath the severed cables. Investigators and emergency workers described bodies that were badly mutilated from both the fall and the crushing force of the collision, with many victims requiring identification through personal belongings, such as passports, jewelry, and dental records.
There was no survivors at all?
Not a single survivor.
Wow. Damn. How many died?
All 20.
Wow. That's sad. I can't imagine.
No one can. Things are so much harder when it's in your community, too. Like, it hits so much harder, so I couldn't imagine being in that community.
It's so creepy, honestly. Sometimes in my For You page or something, they pop up like black box audios of planes that went down. Black box audio? Yeah, like the black box that aircraft have that record your audio.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now, yeah.
But for like an incident or like an accident, something.
We are in a dive here. Yeah, we're at 26,000 feet. We are in a vertical dive. Not a dive yet, but we've lost vertical control of our airplane. Yeah, we got it back under control. We're at 24,000 feet, kind of stabilized.
Alaska 261, you over here with me? Yes, sir.
Plane's in Vernon, sir, and he's just hit the water. Yes, sir. He hit the water. He's down.
And they're creepy.
That has to be horrible to listen to.
Yeah.
Local priests spent hours moving between families gathered at nearby hotels and hospitals, delivering confirmation that loved ones were never coming home. Entire vacations had ended in seconds, leaving parents without children, spouses without partners, and communities across Europe suddenly organizing funerals instead of welcoming relatives back from holiday. Anger spread almost as quickly as grief. Italian officials were furious when it was revealed the U.S. Marine jet involved had been flying far below altitude restrictions, speeding through a populated tourist area. The disaster strained relations between Italy and the United States, especially after the pilots were later acquitted of manslaughter charges during a military trial, despite evidence showing reckless low-altitude flying. In Cavalese itself, church bells rang for the dead while thousands attended memorial services for victims from Belgium, Germany, Poland, Austria, and Italy. The tragedy permanently scarred the town. Even years later, locals spoke about how difficult it was to look up at the mountain cables without remembering the sound of the snap echoing through the valley. Families of the victims continued fighting for accountability long after the news cameras disappeared, many feeling the punishment never matched the scale of what was taken from them. What makes disasters like this linger in my mind is how normal everything was moments before it happened. A scenic ride down a mountain, tourists talking about dinner plans, parents helping children with winter gloves, respected servicemen taking one of 1,000 flights, breaking rules they had broken so many times before with no consequence. Then, in less than a second, 20 lives were erased by this one of hundreds of reckless decisions made far above them. That is a terrifying reality sitting underneath so much of what we cover. Most people never realize they are standing at the edge of catastrophe until they are already falling.
Thanks for really putting me there. That's very nice.
I'm not going outside anymore. Yeah.
No. I'm probably going to take a little while before I start doing things after this. That is...
I'm not going to work this week. Sorry, work.
Yeah. Because everything just happens in moments, you know? Most people just die because of random stuff. It's so sad.
You never know what it's going to be.
yeah, like even being like a house like this, like the ceiling can fall. So, and you're dead.
Tornadoes.
Sinkholes, yes. So much. Like an insect can bite you and you're dead.
Yeah.
So creepy.
Damn. Someone could put rabies in a needle and then go into a crowd and then stab you with rabies.
Huh. Wow. Thanks. Love that.
That's something I think about sometimes when I'm laying in bed. Like, what if someone stabbed me with rabies and I don't know and I have rabies right now? Or heroin. Someone getting you addicted to heroin in a crowd.
Yeah, true. You're right. I mean, if you don't know what it's heroin, then you don't know what it is. And then
But you know you're addicted.
Exactly, so you can't even get it. So. Alright, well, thank you. This one was a good one. I like this one. It was my topic. If you guys want to hear more of my topics and not Ramsey's, please let me know. Let Ramsey know, especially, because we all know. We're all
If you
thinking
want me off the podcast...
Huh? What?
If you want me on the podcast, comment down below. If we get 100 likes, I'll leave.
Watch this get 100 likes. Watch this get 100 likes.
It's the only one. It does weirdly well.
It's like 100 of like spam accounts, and it's just me. All of the accounts.
It's you paying real money to try to get me off of this. That's funny.
That'd be awesome. Okay. Thank you guys. I hope you liked that one. That one was really bad.
I hated it, so I can tell it was probably good.
Yeah, exactly. I hated it too. But I like that little thing that I did where survived and then he died afterwards.
It was an emotional roller coaster. You got our hopes up, and then, but he still died.
Yeah. The guy was just kind of dumb, I guess. But anyways, thank you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Bye. Bye.